Today, will the new Pokemon Snap be a Sony exclusive? Find out on Chillpoint. No.
I love those, what's that, Betteridge's Law of Headlines?
Yeah. It will not be.
No.
That would be a silly
It'll be
thing.
a Nintendo exclusive.
That's right.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chillpoint.
Cool. Apparently, according to what the chat is telling me, that I was on beat with the music, because we can't hear the music. I had to basically just, as soon as you hit start, I had to be like, da-da-da-dun, duns, 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 duns. Okay, just keep it up.
The rhythm is in your heart. You don't have to listen to it with your ears. You're listening to it with your heart.
It's kind of like, secret behind the scenes thing, I guess. Every time we do Quirpline, when we do recordings for that, when Graham goes, and now the news, everybody who's on microphone starts singing the news theme. You should
just put that
we do it every time.
You should just put that in instead of the actual recorded one.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like the bonus stream intro that you did, where it's just people being like do.
The bonus stream intro is possibly one of our greatest creations. Do you know we did that this year?
Yeah, right?
That's our most recent intro, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And we just did it. We just had a bunch of people help, and it was really fun.
It's about an hour of combined work, I think, overall, spread over multiple different people doing cutting because I think Ian was cutting some of the stuff up, and Ian and Matt were doing that, and then we got the table set up and got the camera set up, and then I was about
There's a discussion about how to do the font so that it was still connected together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Luckily, the word bonus doesn't have non-attached bits.
Oh, right. There's no I in it. Yeah. And
Remember, there's no I in bonus.
the theme song actually took me, I think, about 90 minutes from tip to tail. That was.
I remember the idea with the theme is the theme song is like, oh yeah, the idea was we'll do some sort of kind of we'll all be doing different things, and then it came in the next day. It's oh yeah, Beej did all the parts.
Yeah,
It
that's awesome.
still worked. Great.
That totally worked.
I sat down and did it all, and I'm like, actually, this kind of slaps on its own. So maybe is this okay? It's yeah, this is great. We'll just do that. So it's hard to do that because it was also it's one of those things where I was trying to match what was going on screen, and because I didn't know what the theme song should be, I had to watch it over and over and basically tap out time to myself to be okay, what's the actual beat of this thing all the way up to the end. That was the hardest part. Once I got the actual melody down, it was oh, I know how I can fill these things in. So
I love that everybody has so many different skills at the office, that we have people who can make music and stuff. It's very cool. Well, we have Beej who can make music and stuff. Let's be fair, I can't.
I mean, if I'd gotten Ian on board, he probably could have he would have helped too. I'm sure there's a few other people who would be helpful as well. Anyway, we're doing Checkpoint. We're Chillpoint. I'm just dicking around now.
And by the way, check out. I hope that I look nice. Well, I hope I always look nice.
You got a haircut.
No. Well, yes. But also,
Good job.
I have a different camera than I usually use. I'm experimenting with a new... This is what I normally look like. This is what I look like now.
Oh,
yeah.
This is
much better.
Thanks to Canon's EOS webcam utility, which is cool.
Are you using... so you got that depth of field because you're using one of the old Canons.
Yeah.
Looks great.
As I was talking to Beej about this, and it's we're using this old Canon camera and this new utility that Canon put out, which is great. Props to Canon for doing this. But also, this camera's been out for maybe 5-7 years. The fact that this functionality has apparently been there and just Canon didn't make the driver for it until now is kind of annoying. But
Yeah.
yeah, actually, my story about so I got my haircut at the place where I normally get my hair, that it reopened, and I was like, oh, that's great, I'll go down there, and they did a great job and stuff. And then when they finished cutting my hair, and I was like, because I normally get my beard trimmed when I get a haircut, and so I was like, are you guys doing beard trims? And he's like, oh yeah, no problem, we can do that. And I was like, okay. So he does the beard trim, and then when he's about halfway through, he's like, we're not really supposed to do this.
Well,
and I was like, what? He's like, oh yeah, but it's fine. Like this, the barber, like the seat that you're in is like it's we're at like the back of the at the back of the shop here, so like if somebody looks in, they can't really see it, so it'll be fine, if the inspector comes around and stuff. I'm like,
you can only have them done in secret.
I mean, I like getting a beard trim. I didn't expect to get. I didn't know that the stakes involved were so high. It's like I could have got it. I could have just cut it myself. I didn't realize it was a thing.
Oh my God, Paul. Yeah, see, here's the deal. It's not, the issue isn't that they could get a fine. It's the issue that, you could breathe on them and make them sick.
Well,
yeah, oh my God.
It's the idea is that theoretically, I guess you have to get a little closer to you can't wear a mask, obviously, when you're doing beard. So anyway.
Well, yeah, please recommend me your speakeasy for getting your haircut.
It all worked out okay, and they did a good job. So that's good. I probably won't get a beard trim there again, though. At least not soon.
Not until it's legal again.
Yes. Not until I have to be. It's like, I would like a haircut with wink.
I had an urgent filling at my dentist.
Oh.
It's very weird to wake up at 8:00 in the morning because you can feel a piece of your tooth rattling around in your mouth. That was not a great way to wake up. On Sunday too, so I had to wait until they were like, "Oh, we're available to take you." But I got in there like 2 days later. They were like, "Yeah, come on in," and got me into the seat. And in about 30 minutes, he managed to patch and fill the damn thing. It's great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, good then. Yes. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about video game news.
Yeah.
And while news, that wasn't mostly video game news.
Can I tell you about my breakfast before we start? Or
yes, please. No, do it.
Was it a video
You gotta
game
have something
breakfast?
to do now.
No. I Penelope requested yeast-raised pancakes, which are like pancakes, but you make them with the yeast dough, and it's got to rise for an hour and a half. By far, these are the best pancakes that you could make. They're delicious. They're light and fluffy, and they don't taste like yeast. They maybe taste a little bit like a puffy donut, but they're covered in maple syrup and butter, and they're so good. Yeah, so I was like, okay, but so that's been my morning as I was cleaning up the kitchen and making these.
Yeah, usually when I'm thinking about having breakfast, I can't wait an hour and a half to have breakfast. It needs to happen soon.
Yeah, it's not that much more work, but they do need time to rise. That's the only thing. But it's fine, because you're having a big, heavy brunch. So you don't want to have it like as soon as you wake up, right?
That's fair. I feel you.
Yeah, it's good. My family, waffles are usually like the go-to brunch food, but
yeah, you have to get out a whole device. That means it's brunch.
Exactly.
This you just mix and then push to the side. The actual prep is like 5 minutes. It's great.
Nice.
All right, so video game news that is raised with yeast, possibly. Let's talk about what we like to do here on the Chillpoint. If you haven't seen the show before for some reason, is obviously we do CheckPoint on YouTube. That comes out either on Thursday evening or Friday morning. But when we do CheckPoint, we come out with we're looking through all sorts of stories over the whole week, and not all of them make it into the actual episode of CheckPoint. And so this is the chill point where we just we talk about the episodes, the stories that didn't make it in, and also we're going to give you a little sneak peek table read, if you will, of the stories that will be in episode of Checkpoint in their mostly final version. Things might change. The aspect of this that doing the chill point before the actual episode that I've started to really think it has been very valuable is this allows chat to correct our pronunciations on things before we actually filmed the episode, which can be very useful.
And then have to run the gauntlet of YouTube comments.
I mean, we don't always pay attention to what chat says.
Yeah, you didn't say apt correctly. It's like, okay, whatever you say.
All right.
Shall I take it away?
Yeah, go for it, Beach.
All right. Excuse me. Not guilty. Deus Ex fan Bear Parker has a gift for Adam Jensen in celebration of the Deus Ex franchise turning 20 this year. A clean apartment. In a minigame Parker developed in Media Molecule's PS4 game creation system Dreams, you play the role of new era Deus Ex protagonist Adam Jensen as he finally cleans up the stylishly lit junkyard he calls his apartment. It looks like gameplay consists of Jensen yeeting crap into his hallway, but that's technically not his apartment, and that's good enough. I didn't ask for this, but I'm glad it exists.
There's no augment for cleaning your apartment.
I
just
also
have
like
to sit
that.
down and do it.
I like the category of game I didn't ask for, but kind of happy it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting that, but it's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, like, I played Deus Ex, but I can't remember if like Adam Jensen's apartment being like really messy is an ongoing thing in the game. Maybe it is, but
It's just a trash heap.
it's kind of like Viscera cleanup detail, but cleanup detail. It's just not just, which I guess is just being it's just cleaning up. That's. Yeah.
I actually kind of think that'll be that now that has come up as a thing that we're going to see that the next No More Heroes game as an actual mini game element. I'm sure
Cleaning his house.
Yeah, cleaning Travis's terrible house.
Does Travis Touchdown also have a terrible house?
Well, every time I've seen like how he lives, I'm like, I'm sure that's like a monthly thing where he just probably because he's total otaku dude. And I can just kind of see, like, yeah, I bet after a month you're kind of like, shit, I got to clean again, you know?
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about my bathroom. Like, it looks so clean and spotless. It looks like an Instagram post. And then just, over the course of a month, like cat hair and dust and like toothpaste shrapnel, like gather on all of the surfaces. And then it it starts to look like an Instagram post from like a creepypasta account.
So it always looks like Instagram posts. Just the quality of account that it's an Instagram post for just goes down.
Like when you're brushing your teeth, you will just
there's spray.
Yeah, and if you floss, you're gonna be hitting your mirror with like gross saliva and stuff. Like your bathroom just gets dirty.
That's why I always floss in my own bedroom, so I don't have to see it on my mirror.
But I need to look in my mouth to floss for some reason.
Oh,
I can't. I have to be able to see my teeth.
Oh.
It's a compulsion I have.
I'm pretty aware of where mine are.
I'm not aware of where anything in my body is. So I always walk into things.
You don't want to accidentally floss your nose. That could be real bad.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's see. Speaking of things that are probably real bad. Hey, someone who works in the marketing department at KFC Philippines is super into Animal Crossing because they've just opened a brand new location on an Animal Crossing island. And it's not a half-assed island either. It's actually really good. And if you follow KFC Philippines on Facebook, you can get one of the daily dodo codes they send out to fans Once you're on the island, you can play Find the Colonel to win a free 8-piece bucket of chicken, and then question if it's in super bad taste to open a KFC in a place where you can befriend 6-foot-tall, self-aware chickens.
I wonder if that had occurred to... Wait, shit, if it's on an Animal Crossing island, do we know who the animals are who are living on this island? Oh, shit.
No. If it wasn't impossible to get onto this island, I definitely would have done it, but you got to like wait for them to drop their dodo code.
And it's only like a couple people can go to an island at once, right?
8. Yeah.
Yeah. And and every time somebody's going, you have to wait for them to fly in, and then once they've flown in, then somebody else can fly in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is an exclusive island. So
it's not really set up like Animal Crossing isn't really set up for like these mass market stuff.
No. Although I would argue maybe it is, because it's like they can put the dodo code out, and then because it just takes forever to get like 8 or 9 people or get through 15 or 16 people or whatever, that eventually they'll just be like, okay, we've been up for an hour and we've served 16 people. We didn't have to give out that many free pieces of chicken, so that's good.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find out what's going on here. 1 second. Who's hear all this honking? Oh.
It's like 2 cars talking to each other. Honk, honk.
Yeah.
Honk, honk. Honk, honk. Honk, honk.
And because
honk, honk.
It's a recycling truck backing up.
Well, that's good. They should get that. They should get that white noise generator.
Those are good. Is fried chicken like a thing in Animal Crossing? Like, can you get fried chicken?
Food in general is not really a thing, is it? Like, other than the fruit and the fish that you can just get.
You can put like a kitchen in your house though, right?
Yeah, there's some food items, like you can customize the pan to put like some sort of dish in your, like there's food items in Pocket Camp, like pizza and stuff like that, but it's all very notably vegetarian.
That's
good. You get that little slight. I mean, as you talk about in the story, the confusion between sentient animals and food.
Like there's still like fancy coffee drinks and there's cows in the game, but those could easily be made with like, oat milk or something. I think the Animal Crossing universe is a vegan universe because all the clothing is referred to as pleather.
Yeah.
They're avoiding the Pokemon problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
right.
does all this stuff come from?
Except sometimes the villagers too do talk about eating the fish that you give them.
Well, Chip eats the fish in Pocket Camp, and I think in the earlier ones as well.
Though, right?
No. There's octopus. That's the closest sea creature. But the
apparently sea creatures aren't sentient in the animal. Only land creatures can.
Well, I mean, like
except octopuses.
Octopus, right? There's 3 octopus characters in the game, and they can walk around. And you can catch octopus you can catch frogs as well. And the line they have for that too is like, "Oh, I caught a frog," or maybe it's a new resident and I have to start apologizing, like that kind of thing. Because it's like there are actual frog villagers, and then you're also catching frogs out of the lake.
It's a goofy Pluto situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give like a frog that you caught to a frog that is and would that be considered bad taste? Would that be like,
or is that like, here, you look after this? If you give them a tadpole, are they kind of like, yes?
Here's your
Are you
cousin?
proposing?
It's like all frogs don't know each other. That's
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like you have fish and bugs and stuff in the museum, but then you also have animals that walk around and look at the animal. Yeah, who can? Okay, next story.
There is also protein powder in the game too, so you have that as an option. Always a good way to start a fucking story. Here we go. The KKK has this weird habit of popping up where you least expect them, like anywhere in real life in this current year of 2020, or in Red Dead Online. Now, developer Rockstar didn't put the ability to play as a clan member into their online game. Even they are not quite that stupid. They just designed the network architecture for Red Dead Online and GTA 5 Online to be easily exploitable via user-created mod menus, which very edgy and hilarious hackers are using to take KKK character models from the single-player game and introduce them into the online experience. In single-player play of RDR2, the player can stumble across a small group of clan members who comically bumble through trying to light a cross on fire, injuring themselves in the process, right? It's satire. But in the wake of George Floyd's death and the custody of Minneapolis police and the ensuing nationwide protests, hackers used Red Dead mod menus to not only terrorize other players appearing as KKK members, but also take over the Rockstar Message official chat channel to say a bunch of gross stuff I'm not going to repeat in polite company or ever. While dealing with cheating, griefing, and hacking has been an ongoing and often futile struggle for Rockstar and their online experiences, they have solved this one via a patch that instantly deletes any KKK character model as soon as they are detected in an online area. It would be nice if we could despawn them in real life too, but Rockstar does not yet have that technology.
And so as you mentioned the story, to be clear, the characters are in the game, but in the game it's like unambiguously they are like they bumble through a thing and you like kill them all because you killed them.
Yeah, they're meant to be made an object of ridicule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like there's no, and nobody had, as far as I know, there wasn't any objections to them being in the game because, you know, there's lots of horrible things in the game. And they explicitly made it so that you couldn't make them in the online thing because
that would be awful.
That would be awful.
Case in point.
But apparently you can spawn, not only, you can like spawn just like trains and stuff. Like you can just, people have figured out how to spawn basically anything that's in the game. There's a video of a guy walking along who gets a bunch of KKK or a bunch of clan members spawned like into him. So he just has like these guys in white robes like sticking out at all angles, like stuck to his character model. Which is legitimately kind of funny. But also, I imagine very annoying to be that as a player.
Yeah.
And but the something that I was thinking about for this is the solution that they had to this problem is like literally apparently the thing that I was reading. So apparently they basically hard coded a thing that if the KKK member model is spawned within the online map area, it immediately gets despawned. So it disappears.
It's like it doesn't even have time to show up.
Yeah. But it's like, that seems like such it's like, okay, yeah, you solved the small problem, like the immediate problem, but that seems like a really short-sighted way of dealing, like, I don't know. I was saying to Graham, it's like these trolls are very experienced at basically making anything to be an offensive message. You know, repurposing anything in the game into an offensive message by just using it a lot in an offensive way. Yeah. And so, like, the idea that they're gonna that now, maybe, I guess, like, are they gonna have to like police what is the newest whatever white supremacist meme that is being used and make it so you can't spawn that thing? Like, I don't really see why you can spawn stuff at all. It seems
why it's even allowed to have, like, why the mod menu.
I guess it's part of the mod thing, which is...
Yeah. I mean, it's cat and mouse games, like between cheaters and hackers and the company who runs a game. That's always going to be a thing that's going on. And now it's like, this is yet another arm. It's just a more insidious arm. Mm. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I hope that people who were previously enjoying Red Dead Online are able to continue to enjoy it in whatever way possible. And hopefully Rockstar can keep clamping down on this stuff. We shall see.
Fingers crossed. Like, anyhow, let's talk about stuff that's actually kind of cool. There's a Pokemon presentation this week, so here's a TLDR. Isle of Armor, the first expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield is out, and it's kind of short, but you can also ride up to a Wailmer and punch it right in the baleen, so your mileage may vary. Pokemon Smile is a free mobile game about brushing your teeth, and the commercial stars the calmest, least frustrated people I have ever seen debating oral hygiene with toddlers. If it was as easy as the commercial makes it look, nobody would need to bribe their children with an app. The presentation also showed off something called Pokemon Cafe Mix, which looks like a mobile game, and why? The only upside of being home all the time is that I don't have to play phone games. I can play a real game on my Switch whenever I want, and you cannot make me go back again, Satan. But the star of the show was the new Pokemon Snap, a sequel 4 console generations in the making. And although it was never the most popular Pokemon spin-off, Snap has a dedicated fan base that never forgot to badger Nintendo or to badger the Pokemon Company about the sequel they were owed. So will it live up to their expectations? Well, they've been pushing for this for 20 years, which means they've spent more time asking for a sequel than they ever did playing Pokemon Snap. I'm sure it'll be fine.
The taking pictures, like I feel like there's a small subgenre of the like taking pictures of things that, you know, Pokemon Snap was not the only game in that.
I mean, there's Fatal Frame.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's a little different.
yeah, Fatal Frame is a little bit, the content. Although a crossover where you have to take pictures of Pokemon in order to survive would be a little different.
Yeah. I get, so maybe we'll start from the top of this and go down. So I'm not playing Sword and Shield. Have you tried Isle of Armor yet, Kathleen?
No, I have not. I haven't had any time.
So what's like kind of the big thing about it that, I mean, other than it is an expansion, is it just new?
It's got like 100. It's got 100 new Pokemon. It's got like a very short little campaign. Apparently, it only takes like a couple hours to go through, but it's got an enormous new wild area. But it's just like a big open space to roam around in and catch Pokemon, right? And like do max raid battles. It's like there's not a dungeon or any puzzles or anything.
Okay, that's cool.
So,
it's not like
an
extended.
Is a paid DLC?
Yes.
Or is it just okay. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely I have heard that it's kind of short for what it is. But on the other hand, they have released a few, you know, free updates of adding more Pokemon in. So maybe
you get nice water and fighting Pokemon.
I think Pokemon Smile is a really cute idea.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding is that it actually is. It's treated like a Pokemon game in that the app is watching you brush your teeth. And when it has decided that you have brushed your teeth to satisfactory levels, that is used to defeat a Pokemon in the game that's like been like taunting another Pokemon, and then you can actually capture Pokemon. Like I'm trying to remember how this. I didn't actually watch the commercial, but Heather was telling me how it worked.
Do you need like a special toothbrush that it can track?
No, it's facial recognition.
Oh.
You set up a camera and it watches you brush your teeth. And I'm like, that's actually kind of cute.
The only thing but you need a phone stand because it's got to be able to like aim up at your kids. You don't want to be like holding that for them. So you're going to have to jury rig up some sort of phone stand for your bathroom.
Yeah.
There's got to be a Pokemon, like there's got to be a few Pokemon that are just giant like mouths with teeth, right?
Yeah, actually, I think you're probably right, actually.
There's definitely a few that I can think of that it maybe are mostly mouth. Maybe like mouth and arms kind of deal.
Yeah.
Gengar. Gengar is basically a head with 2 arms. It's mostly a mouth.
Also, I think it uses
it's just
AR to put like a hat on your kid's
like
head.
Pokemon and stuff. Or it's just like Pikachu and stuff that are that do it, but
also, I know that I keep saying on your kid, but really anybody can utilize this. Like, let's be fair. Like, you know, you could use Pokemon Smile yourself, really.
That's true.
Yeah. You don't have to feel like you have to have kids in order to utilize this cute little thing that I hope is safe.
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of interesting from a, you know, technology point of view, depending on what they're doing. You know, I mean, at a minimum level, it could be just like a timer, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it actually tells you it actually says you've been on one side for so long, so you need to switch sides. I'm sure that we are going to have the speedrunning community working on cracking this thing somehow. There'll be any percents.
any percent.
They're going to.
I feel like any percent brushing your teeth is what people were doing before. That's
Yeah.
that's what this game is trying to prevent.
And then Pokemon Cafe Mix is mobile-ish.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of like Pokemon shapes, and you sort of have to like connect the shapes. Connect, like, say there's like a bunch of Pikachu head, a bunch of Squirtle heads, a bunch of Charmander heads, right? And you got to like collect all the Charmander heads together, and then they'll go away, and some different things will come in. But instead of like drawing lines, which is very mobile game, you just do a swirl because it's Cafe Mix. You're mixing food together to like get most of those Charmander heads. To me, that looks frustrating, honestly. Yeah, it's specifically like the gameplay and just the art style of like, is this very like cute but still very flat, flash animated looking 2D thing that you see in mobile games. You can expand your cafe. You've got these things that certain Pokemon have certain powers. After you expand your cafe, other Pokemon will start showing up. It's, really smacks of mobile game development to me. And also it's advertised as free to start, which is like,
it's like a Bejeweled or a Puzzle Quest.
Match 3.
But
it's not Match 3.
Or
it's
match
like
a bunch of jewels or whatever. A bunch of Pokemon heads.
Yeah, I'm not. No, yeah, I don't want that.
I feel like you, kind of correctly encapsulated the whole thing being like, it looks like a mobile game and full stop. Like, at that point, it's like, that's, sure, whatever. There's nothing much to talk about in that respect. Now, new Pokemon Snap is one of those things where nobody saw coming except all the people who've been asking for it, but I think they didn't really even see it coming either. And funny thing, Heather was following a thread, she told me about this last night, where apparently the inside source that always has, as far as everyone's concerned, always has correct information on what's going on, literally said, oh yeah, no, this Pokemon event, they're not going to talk about the Pokemon Snap sequel. That's not a thing that's coming. And I just had that moment of, is this the part where everyone finally realizes that this inside source has just been making up shit the entire time? Because this is pretty big news that you would be like, oh no on, right? Like it's like if you knew that and you were the inside source, you would totally be all about saying it's coming, it's going to be this week, and then you would be like hailed as an oracle for the rest of your life. And I'm like, this person got this wrong. They're full of shit. Stop listening to the people who tell you they're an inside source for stuff.
Combination of some good guesses and like some, confirmation bias.
Yeah.
You're basically doing like a psychic cold read on the Pokemon company.
Right. But exciting because people have wanted this. It
looks like a neat game.
Yeah. Did you ever play the original?
I have not, no.
I played the original very briefly once, like for like about 5 minutes or so. I think I have it on my Wii, in fact. I can't remember. But it's an N64 game, so it's all, buttons and whatever. But I think they missed a trick because it's like the Wii had free aim, right? You have your Wiimote out and you're like, I can aim anywhere at the screen to shoot pictures with. It kind of makes sense. The Wii U having the gamepad that you can actually move around in AR like it did in Fatal Frame 5. Anyway, like you could move it around and take pictures with using this as the picture, but using your main screen is what I'm like, okay, that's a thing to do too. The 3DS with the Spirit Camera game that also had a Fatal Frame component to it, that's like full AR. Like you can move around in space and like 3D wise and whatnot. And I'm like, they had all of these things that had cameras on board, that had like motion control, it had all these things that have been perfect for this game. And they waited until the Switch. I mean, they can't, because the
Switch doesn't have AR stuff anymore, right?
It doesn't. It has an IR camera on it, but if you're going to play it on the Switch Lite, you don't have the motion controls of the Joy-Cons, and I don't even know if the IR camera's on the Switch Lite or not. And like, there's a lot of things. It's like, this is going to be all back to stick controlling again. and it's a rail shooter. You just sit in a little tank and and it moves itself, and all you have to do is just move the screen around, get your reticule on a Pokemon, and take a picture. And I'm like, it's so weird that they waited until now to be like, oh, now we do new Pokemon Snap.
It's DJ Alternative brings up a good point. This is something that I always thought was interesting about games like Pokemon Snap, is the way that they rank your pictures.
Right.
And the idea of like it's a computer program, on N64. So presumably not even that sophisticated computer program is ranking the quality of your pictures, which is kind of an interesting idea. It's like, maybe I wanted to take a picture of my thumb. That was what I wanted to take a picture of. Which, by the way, using the IR camera on the Switch, they can totally do that. Like if your fingers in front of the
right, yeah, you're holding your Joy-Con wrong. I do think it's interesting in chat that they said, what about Labo? Right, Labo's got a VR setup. You could maybe.
Don't they actually have a camera? Isn't there a Labo camera already?
I think so.
I mean, because there's no camera that's an actual part of the Switch.
Oh, then there wouldn't be then. I guess.
No, but I guess not. I thought there was like a Labo camera thing.
There's a mask that you can put on. You can slide your Switch into it, and then you can move around. And I think you can use the you could probably use the IR camera to take IR pictures in dark spaces and stuff. But I don't think you can actually. Yeah, you can't take a full color whatever. But
right, and there's a
maybe
VR thing. Yeah.
It would give people more reason to buy Labo, I think, at that point too, because I think Pokemon Snap fans would probably be all about like, I want to feel like I'm there, like.
But I bet you could. I mean, I'm sure that there's algorithms for quality of pictures, used by programs like Aperture and Lightroom, like the real photography programs that they could tap into in terms of not just making sure that the Pokemon is a certain size in the frame, but actually evaluating the quality of your photos.
Right,
in
like being able to. In like an advanced mode that teaches like rule of thirds or like teaches like how artistically you set something. Mm-hmm. But that's then a thing where you have to be like, okay, well, it looks pretty to me, and it's like, yeah, but there's all this lens flare and stuff, and that doesn't, the computer then has to evaluate like a human would.
Do you have to do like, you're taking the picture and then you have like a little like squeaky toy or something, you're like, come on Pokemon, come on, look at me Pokemon. Look at me, Pokemon.
That'd be awesome.
Pikachu, come on. Pika. God damn it. Look over here.
You have like a little call that you put in your mouth. And you
yeah. And then just Pikachu just wanders off. Dog!
Too real.
Those are our stories, though.
Yeah, that's it. In other news.
Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently Destiny 2 that has some grinding. It's just super complicated.
Did we talk about this? Maybe this because this was last week, and because we didn't do the talk about stories last week. But Destiny's got this thing where they put this like not weapon degradation, but like this idea that as generations go on, as updates come out, new weapons will come out, and your old weapons won't be good anymore, and so you have to keep upgrading. And the idea, the hope is that will make it so people don't stick on one weapon for like 5 years, and it'll change from from a point of view. If you're talking like Magic, it's like changing the meta. It's like standard rotation, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, now I don't play Destiny, but the description of the problems that they've been running into with this and how their system works just seems so inordinately complicated. Because there's this, the problem is that like, if you've got a gun from a previous generation, it can only get to a certain level of quality. Right. But that same gun you can pick up now. And so if you get like the whatever gun now, you can get it better. So you have to know what generation the gun came from in the first place in order to know how good the gun can be.
because it's the power cap that matters. Because it's like your gun
Yeah.
from one season can only get so good, but if you get a gun from the new season, it actually they'll have higher caps, which means you'll end up capping out your gun from a previous season, and then it's like that was really fun to use, but now it's nowhere near as powerful as it would be if I bought a new one right now and made it even more powerful. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that
And
does
so
sound
now
like it sucks.
And now I have to go on this whatever quest to buy the same gun that I had before. But now that I can get, it just seems like this should not be like, this is not that complicated a thing to do. I don't understand why it seems to be way more complicated than it needs to be.
Apparently, to Zushi, guns literally have set symbols based on the season they dropped in. It's like MTG cards having their set expansion symbols.
Right.
Wow.
Odd.
Which is really weird, because it's like likening it to that. Because it's like, oh, well, we want you to, like he said, we've made a lot of Magic cards, if you think of it that way, and we want you to keep the ones you love in your collection, as opposed to taking them and throwing them all away and having the tower get destroyed again. And a bunch of those Magic cards could be playable around the world while free roaming or in PvP formats, but where power matters or aspirational activities are involved, we're going to make some changes to legendary weapons. I'm like, okay, I feel like we're completely off the point.
As a side note, they actually in the thing they actually am I correct that they actually are relating it to Magic cards?
Yeah,
Like
there's literally a quote
like that's
from
not
director
us.
Luke Smith.
That's from Bungie. They're comparing
Yeah.
it to Magic cards. Yeah.
Because they want it to feel like it's the sunsetting thing, that once a set rotates out of standard, it's like you can't play that in standard anymore. It's like, sure, you can still have those cards, you can still go around and shoot those guns in Destiny if you want, but they're not the ones we want you to keep using. I'm like, sure,
Suck. Yeah.
I guess that's fair, but you also don't have to spend fucking hours powering up your Magic cards in order to play them. Like, it's like this Magic card that you got in the new set, which is basically just giant growth all over again. In order for you to actually utilize this properly, you're gonna have to play it 1,000 goddamn times. And that seems to be what the problem is here.
Don't give them ideas.
You'll need to have somebody like put a little stamp on your card, and once it's filled up, then it can actually operate at full power.
You have to go to all of the train stations and collect all of the stamps. That was just for you.
Thank you.
Moving on.
So
Fortnite.
yeah.
Fort.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, you talk.
I was gonna do the next one along here in my dining room, which is PUBG, but which this was just a little story about the latest update in PUBG made vehicles a lot safer apparently. So now they don't when they're damaged to the point where they're like not useful anymore, they don't just explode immediately. They light on fire for a bit and then explode, so it gives you time to which I feel like that's gonna make like the highlights that come out of PUBG games drop by like 50%. A bunch of people jumping into a car and driving and doing something dumb in the car and then exploding is like a good chunk of PUBG highlights.
But it
on
also
the
sounds like
bright
PUBG, came up with a solution.
Yeah, they added C4 to the game, so you can still make things explode. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I was thinking my take for this story was like, after doing some research, we found that weirdly the amount of car explosions hasn't gone down that much. We don't understand. We made cars not explode so easily, and completely unrelated note, we added C4 to the game.
Yeah,
and
explosions have gone up.
Yeah, explosions have gone up. I don't understand it.
I'm gonna skip a couple of these stories because I don't think they're super exciting. But Fortnite. So the season 3, they've changed the map again. Now they've flooded it, and there's shark taxis.
Is that just get inside a shark and get eaten? Like,
no, I think they drive you around.
If a shark tells you it's a taxi, do not get in the shark. It is lying.
It's like, it's like a water world kind of look they've got going on, right?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think you can like catch a shark and then like jump on it and drive it around. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like you're being towed by it.
Yeah,
like
you
a
have
vehicle.
to. Yeah, you got to hook them with your fishing rod.
Is that fucking Aquaman? It is.
Yep. Aquaman's in
Great.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
go between islands. It's very aquatic.
Fortnite
Oh,
is
you
big
have
enough.
fishing rods.
Fortnite's big enough that they don't just have to be like, it's an Aquaman like thing. They're like, oh yeah, no, this is actually
This is
officially
Aquaman.
licensed Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, and it's good to get the youth ready for the idea of rising sea levels. So
Agreed.
but shh.
I didn't. Oh my god. This is okay. So this is Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 3. Because I seem to remember that, like, wasn't Fortnite on like Season 9 or something at one point?
And then, well, they did the thing where like the entire thing exploded into Black Void, which I think was
Right.
the end of Chapter
Right.
1.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, because it's called Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 3. And I'm like, okay. You're telling an amazing story.
They're getting up to like
verse
Kingdom
6.
Hearts level of.
I don't think anybody can catch Kingdom Hearts at this point. Not even Madden, I think, is going to have more games than Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts doesn't have a lot of games. It's just nobody can understand the name. They're just named in the most interesting ways.
Yeah. Though I think it's still harder to follow than the storyline behind Madden.
Yes.
And that
I
has
think
hundreds
so.
of characters.
It's true. It's true.
Madden's like the War and Peace of the of the video game stories. There is a new Kingdom Hearts game coming out this year to add to that confusion, but this one's a rhythm game. It's only coming out in Japan for now, but I mean I don't see why they couldn't just like put that out over here. And I don't know. I suppose you eat Heartless in time to like ice cream beats or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about
It's
Kingdom Hearts.
According to these videos, apparently you're actually like traveling along a rail and just like smashing guys to the beat of the
Of Simple and Clean. Let's be honest, there's going to be 300 songs in this, and all but 2 of them are going to be fucking Simple and Clean. They're going to be all remixes. It's the only goddamn song anybody knows from the series. You can't get them to stop doing it at fucking anime convention karaoke. I've had to sit through so many editions of people doing that shit that I'm a little sick of it.
So
it's
only
had some
coming
very
out.
strong feelings about this story.
Yeah, I opted not to do it because I was like, I think that it would be hard if
I'm too close. I'm too close
Kathleen
to
or
it.
Graham to have to read my story about this.
I can't be objective. I'm too close to the story.
So like it's only coming out in Japan. It's only obviously in Japanese. It's going to be on Switch, but apparently the trailer has like plot stuff in it. So
So it's part of the series.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be a
Everything.
Kingdom Hearts game if it wasn't unintelligible plot developments rammed in there. Ay.
Good. Well, then I'm happy because it's like they didn't abandon the whole idea of Kingdom Hearts, which is everything matters to the story. I believe. So all right, that's cool.
I hope
I
it's
mean,
actually,
Heather's
like-
happy to hear about a new rhythm game. So
Yeah. And finally, if you happen to pick up the amazing humble or not Itch.io bundle the last week, which you
I
should have
did.
been, so you have whatever it is, 1,300 games.
or 1,300 items.
Yes, but that's not
Most of
enough
which we-
games for you. Well, you're in luck because it's Steam Summer Festival. Woo!
All right. What does
And there
that
are
mean?
over 500 game demos, not just free games, but they're 500 game demos are now up on Steam of all sorts of new games. This is again one of these like E3 isn't happening, so we still want to demo all these games. Have at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a... Oh, keep talking.
Well, I was just gonna say, which is, it's neat, and maybe it's just me that like how I consume games these days. But I feel like the game demo is something that has kind of fallen by the wayside,
Yeah.
and so it's cool that this is the most demos I've ever seen. So you've got a lot of. I think there's about a week that all these are going to be available. So you're gonna have to pace yourself. You're not gonna be able to see all of them probably. Although I'm sure there's somebody like streaming. I'm gonna play all of 500 games or something. Or there's like a YouTube series or something happening.
But they all expire on the morning of Monday, June 22nd. So you have to you got to go get them, download them, install them, play them, and then move on to the next one, I guess. And they're not all out yet, like you were saying. So that's even more complicated. You got to check every day.
You too can feel like an overworked games journalist trying to ram as much information into your brain as possible before an arbitrary deadline.
Yeah.
So,
and if that isn't enough games, there is also a real Skookum Humble Bundle that just came out too.
Is there?
In the wake of the Itch.io. Now, in every other bundle pales in comparison to the Itch.io bundle, because I mean, what could compete with that? 1,700 games for $5. But this new Humble Bundle is quite spicy. If unlike me, you don't have all of these. I was like, oh man, this is a really cool bundle. And I'm like, wait, I actually have almost all of those games already from previous bundles or previous other things. But there is some pretty awesome stuff in there. So if you haven't, so if there's stuff there that you don't have, there's some very, very good things. So
that's quite big for. I'm looking at it right now. It's quite big for a bundle as well.
Yeah.
It's so starting Jackbox Party Pack 4, Baba Is You, Hyper Light Drifter, Spelunky, Kerbal Space Program, NBA 2K20, FTL Advance, BioShock Remastered, This War of Mine. This just kind of goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of that is a whole bunch of books by what looks like Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Mm-hmm. You're getting like 24 books there. It's kind of amazing. And it's for me, it's Canadian $43 to start. That's wild.
Yeah. So tons of game deals going on right now to keep y'all entertained while you're staying at home.
I just looked it up because I bought the Itch.io bundle the other day. So it's closed now. They wanted to raise $5 million. They raised $8.1 million.
Yay!
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Going to the
almost $1 for every game in the bundle.
Yeah, it's NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and the Community Bail Fund split those proceeds 50-50.
Wow.
So that's amazing. That's a great influx of cash for very worthy causes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I have to buy another bundle.
Why won't they let us rest?
Yeah.
So many good game deals. If only they'd let us go just once. All right, let's welcome some of these subscribers.
Let's welcome the subs.
Right, yes. Change back to the other window. Hi.
Thank you, all you amazing people, for supporting us in all the many ways you do, both here on Twitch and on Patreon, and through the YouTube subscriptions, our memberships, I should say. But in particular, we want to thank the people who subscribed during this stream, starting with Lord Hydra OS.
And what about Maelstron Solinor, who's been here for 29 months? Thank you very much.
And welcome back, Nathan J. G.A., who's been here 34 months.
Razik 0K. Raise 0K for 76 months.
Hey, Lamau, it's Bronze Finger. 76 months. Wow, it's so long.
Sam Skunkworks has been here 73 months. That's an amazing amount of months. Thanks, Sam.
The Green Monster 450 for 41 months. Thank you very much.
Hey, Devin Sanity has been here for 78 months.
Kikazi has been here 74 months. Welcome back, Kikazi.
Nolly 3 for 34 months. Thank you very much.
Hey, Lamau, it's Variable Vacancy, who's been here for 38 months.
And Diamond MX returns for 31 months. Welcome back.
Darrowkin for 75 months.
And hey, Lamau, it's Zethras, who's been here for 72 months. That's also so long.
Valth Drake has been here for 24 months. That's 2 years. Welcome.
And thank you, the Maricat, for gifting subs to Grimborn, Bezakrik, Tofu Toddy, KCL Man, Bodacious Nia, R2 Game 2, R2 Gamer 2, Old School, Sean the Man 2, Figgy Leaf, and Sleeper of Relay. Relay.
And hey, Lamau, thank you for 469 bits to Gap Filler, BT Etta, and Contingent Cat. Thank you very much. And it is Gay Pride Month, or Gay Wrath Month, as most people are calling it this year. And right now, if you donate bits, some of those bits go to the Trevor Project. And what's the other one?
I know.
I don't want to get it wrong.
No, I don't want to get it wrong either.
So
but it is. You have to give 300 bits.
MBJC.
MBJC. What does that stand for? Because
it's the National Black Justice Commission, I believe it is.
The National Black Justice Commission. Perfect. I hear the acronym and I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So that's yes, that's for every 300 donations, 300 bits, or subscriptions or resubscriptions, it's 10 cents.
And they're doing up to $300,000
to each organization.
Yeah. The National Black Justice Coalition. I always get the C's mixed up on those, but you have to be careful too when you're looking for charities to donate to, because there has recently been a Black Lives Matter mix-up. The Black Lives Matter Foundation is not associated with the Black Lives Matter global campaign. They're not the same thing. So be careful when you look into stuff. Find out what the actual organization is. Don't just trust the fact that it's like, oh, this is a charity that that's been
Twitter.
Yeah, or that's been approved, because a lot of fundraising sites approve those approved charities and stuff, and sometimes they don't look like, they just look to see whether or not they're a charity. They don't actually look to see what are these people funding.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently you also get some fancy emotes in chat too.
Do you? That's fun.
Thanks to Kakazi for that last minute bit donation. And coming up, we have LRRMTG. They're going to be playing the Ikoria drafts, I assume. And then tonight, it is Grim Dawn. The Venga bus is rolling on into the Grim Dawn. It must roll for who knows.
Don't ask who the Venga bus rolls for. It rolls for you.
Yes.
I feel like we're inventing some new lore for the Venga boys.
The Venga bus is coming, whether you want it to or not.
Yes. The Venga bus will always be coming. And then on Friday, it is the Friday night paper fight where they're going to be playing Arena, but I believe they're going to be playing Cube Draft.
Yes, Arena Cube Draft.
Cube.
And then on Saturday, they're going to be doing some Valorant streaming. Apparently, that has been very successful. The folks have been really enjoying that.
Oh, as a stream, it's been successful. Like
Yeah,
Valorant
yeah.
itself has been successful too. But yes.
Speaking of a different one more.
Yeah, yeah. On Sunday, you're going to KFC Island. Woo!
Oh, I wish I could go to KFC Island. I mean, I'll look into it. But we're doing Kathleen's Island Tour returns. It's probably coming back into July. There's too many good islands, and people like Animal Crossing still. So this week we're gonna go see Little Karibo, aka Martin Billany's Island, and Graham's Island, and your islands.
Nice. Rhythm Cafe, they are going to be continuing with Runner 3. And to play they have to finish it before the new
Kingdom Hearts rhythm game
Kingdom
comes
Hearts
out.
comes out, yeah.
I mean, Heather will buy it from Japan. Like that's.
And then we are very excited to say that on Monday, we are going to be doing the Core 2021 pre-release. Woo!
Pre-release.
Pre-release, I should say.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little different from our previous pre-releases, but also not it is going to be done with paper Magic cards that we have received from Wizards of the Coast. We're going to do deck builds and all that good stuff. But the players are going to be playing in a appropriately socially distant way. But they are going to be playing with the paper cards and everything, so should be a lot of fun. Oops, all lures.
Oops, all social distancing.
Yes.
Look, we're charting new ground for how you can responsibly play Magic on stream.
Yeah, and I think good for us too that we're doing that because big event, really exciting to see this come out, but also it's like we're trying a bunch of new stuff. The logistics of this are not easy, is my understanding.
The logistics of doing anything under this time during these challenging and interesting times are not easy.
Yeah,
but we're getting it done.
Now, I'm not saying that we're going to use holograms, but that could be something. If we are using holograms, you wouldn't see them, of course, because they would be on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
But
maybe Pepper's ghost. We'll utilize that.
All sorts of magical special effects that you won't see.
Is this your card?
It's gonna be Schrodinger's COVID. That's the whole thing.
Maybe we've been using holograms this whole time. Ooh.
Why does my hologram look so shitty and tired then, Paul? Come on.
Realism. It has to have verisimilitude.
Oh.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned for LRMTG at 2 o'clock. But for now, we'll talk to all y'all later.
Bye.